get started in just a moment. It's go time. Share your soul with the world. If anything that I share with you on this video resonates, I ask that you comment down below and you let me know what is resonating for you. You let me know what your biggest takeaways are. The greatest thing you can do for me is to share this video on social media, share it with your friends, give them the link so that they can access that which lights you on fire. So share your soul with the world. There's going to be a lot of things that we get into today. And the first thing I want to start with is by pointing out how most of what we share with the world is not our soul. Most of our thoughts are not coming from our soul. Most of our beliefs are not coming from our soul. And instead, they are the regurgitation, the reflection of our environment. Like, how many of your thoughts are actually your thoughts? For most people, it's a very small percentage. And instead, we think thoughts because of the movie we watched yesterday, because of the music we listened to this morning, because of the conversations we have throughout our day, or the books that we're reading. And we can get really intentional with watching empowering movies or reading spiritual, personal development books so that we have good thoughts in our mind. But even still, how much of those thoughts are actually ours? And the answer is it's a very small percentage. And here we are, we go and we share our thoughts and our ideas and our beliefs with the world, and they're not even ours. They're not aligned to our soul. And having that awareness, that realization, like, oh my goodness, most of what I'm saying is not coming from the stillness. It's not coming from this all-knowing inside of me. Having that awareness is paramount. And it opens up the door to finally, for perhaps the first time in your life, you share your soul with the world. And this is the most empowering thing you can do while you are here on this planet. Because the truth is, every single one of you watching this, you have something inside of you that needs to be shared. You have something so unique. You have something so powerful, so magical, so brilliant to give and to offer us. And it might be in the form of beautiful music. It might be in the form of beautiful words or amazing recipes in the kitchen, or a workout plan, or a meditation, or a breathing technique. Whatever it is, that doesn't necessarily matter. What matters is that it comes from your soul. Many of us are so far detached from our soul guidance that we don't really know how to discern what's coming from here, what's coming from our environment versus what's coming from inside of us. The thing that's really deep inside of us, it never leaves, it's been kind of knocking at the door for a while. The thing that is influenced by our environment, by our own logical mind, that those things kind of come and go pretty quickly. So before this live video, I just kind of tapped in, opened myself up to what needs to be shared with the collective. And there's a few things that I wrote down here. So I'll go ahead and just kind of verbatim share with you what I wrote down and then kind of further elaborate. So the first thing that I wrote down when I asked guidance, what does the collective need to know about sharing their soul with the world? The first thing that I wrote down is something I have alluded to already, which is most of us are sharing our lack beliefs with the world. We're sharing our doubts, our anxieties, our fears with the world. And we do it in very clever, intelligent, brilliant ways. We do it in ways that create separation between people. And we do it because more times than not, it's a habit. That's all it is. It's just a habit that we've been conditioned to do. Everyone around us is reinforcing this habit. It's quite insane how if we share lack beliefs with other people, 9 out of 10 of the people we talk to will confirm, like, yeah, you're right. If we share abundant ideas with people, 9 out of 10 of the people we talk to will be like, you're wrong. So it's really, you're facing a lot of resistance when you share your soul with the world. And that's perhaps why you do it. And if you are willing and ready to take on this challenge, you have to have so much endurance. And we'll get into kind of how to practice endurance, how to strengthen your endurance in a moment, but that's where we will start. The second thing I wrote down is there's something inside that needs to be shared. There's something inside of you that needs to be released, that needs to be spoken, that needs to be acted upon, that needs to be created. And if everyone was willing to share what's inside of them, this world would be really, really magical, and everything will be taken care of, because there are people who, when their soul speaks, they build buildings. Other people, when their soul speaks, they clean beaches. Other people, when their soul speaks, they build schools. So everything will be taken care of. There are people, and I know them, who, when their soul speaks, they pick up trash. And the thing that's inside of you, in other words, your soul, your intuition, your highest expression, we could make the argument that it is your duty to share it with the world. It's why you are here. We did not come here to work a 9 to 5 in a job that we hate, to live paycheck to paycheck, to live in one house for our entire life, and to not taste all the flavors of the amazing cuisine that's in the world, the amazing humans that are in the world. Like, we came here to be incredibly courageous. And we know this to be true because if you were to imagine or visualize yourself for a moment, and you see yourself going full out, going all in, going 100% on your dreams, you feel so good. You feel so good. And then the logical mind comes into play and like, well, how do I do that? And we'll talk about that in a moment. And then once the logical mind comes in and the conditioning of like, wait a second, you can't actually have what you want, then we start to feel bad. If anything that I'm sharing with you is resonating, please share this video and comment down below. The greatest thing you can do is share this video with the world. Third thing that I wrote down here, I wrote down the words, make it simple. Sharing your soul with the world. It's a very simple process. Creating your dream life is a very simple process. Many people become incredibly overwhelmed. Perhaps it's because they don't know what to do. Perhaps it's because they created such an out of aligned life around them that's like very far off from what they know they really want, and they like feel like they're in a really big hole. Regardless of where you're at, it doesn't matter. Making progress is as simple as just taking one step right now. You don't have to know what you're going to do in a week. You don't have to know what you're going to do in 10 steps or in 6 months or in a year. You really don't. Whenever that time comes, you'll know what to do. And you just take one more step and then another step. So, sharing your soul with the world, how can you make it incredibly simple? A simple practice you can follow is, again, get clear with what you want, kind of tap into that frequency, see yourself fulfilling your wildest dreams, and then ask yourself, well, what can I do today, right now, to take one small step in the right direction? And just notice what comes up and do it. Do it in the face of fear, right? Feel the fear and do it anyways. Do it even if you're feeling anxious. Do it even if you don't feel like doing it. Because there's this inner knowing that's like, yeah, you should do it. So the process of sharing your soul with the world, make it simple. Follow the trail of your highest excitement. Fourth thing, moving on, that I wrote down here. Cool. I wrote flooded with gifts in abundance. Many people are looking for the way of achieving abundance, creating wealth, and having awesome things in their life. How do I do that? How do I have awesome things in my life? Sometimes it just comes really easy for people, and people are born into wealth, right? And other times people really have to search and figure out how to build it. And from my experience, if you want amazing things in your life, if you want financial abundance in your life, the greatest thing you can do is share your soul with the world. Share your magic. Build something that feels spiritually aligned with what you want. One of my all-time favorite concepts when it comes to, well, how do I build something that will create financial abundance in my life? It's the most basic thing you can do, and it simplifies the process of creating a very successful business. And this works for any type of business. So imagine a Venn diagram, right? So you got two circles. That's how Venn diagrams work. We all know that. One of the circles is labeled what I love to do. And you just write in a bunch of things inside of that circle. What I love to do, the other circle of the Venn diagram is labeled what other people are willing to pay for. That's it. Whatever overlaps, you do that thing. You do the thing that you love to do and other people are willing to pay for. And you will be flooded with gifts in abundance. I'll get a hell yeah, amen. Cheers to that. It's been an incredible experience. And a lot of people, sometimes that can be hard for people to like, well, is it really that simple? And the only way you can find out is have a conversation with somebody who's doing it, and they can like kind of give you encouragement, right? Or you just have to experience it yourself. You have to risk it. And you're not really risking anything. The biggest risk you can take is you don't share your wisdom, or you don't share your soul with the world. You don't create the thing that is knocking at your door, yearning to be released and shared. Here's something. Tension and dis-ease is the byproduct of not sharing your soul with the world. So the first thing that I wrote and I talked about is how most of us, we share our lack beliefs. We share our conditioning, our trauma, our habits with the world, and we think that's who we are. We think the trauma and the conditioning, we think that's us. And it's not. It's just kind of become a habit, right? And we get used to sharing the lack beliefs with the world. And it creates so much disharmony in every cell of our body. And each of us has different tolerance of how much disharmony we can endure with our physical body. And once it gets to that tipping point, things begin to break down. We see it all the time. How cool is it when you meet somebody who's older, but they just have this energy of somebody who's younger, and you can feel their vibrancy, you can feel their health. And it's because they're sharing their soul with the world. They're not walking around with masks. Most people are walking around with a mask, and it creates so much dis-ease within their body. So another more empowering way to articulate what I'm pointing to right now is, if we want vibrant health, we have to share our soul with the world. Two more things, and these are probably the most important, so pay very close attention. And again, if anything that I'm sharing with you helps and resonates, please, I ask that you do me a huge favor and you share this video online. Share it on social media, text it to a friend, post it on your stories. It's the only way to get this message out, is by word of mouth. So thank you. Final two things. Share your soul with the world. I wrote, it has to be today. You share your soul with the world today. You don't do it tomorrow. You don't do it later. You do it right now. You don't have to know how you're going to do it tomorrow. You don't have to know how you're going to do it in a month. You just do it right now. You do it today. And oftentimes when we take on the challenge of doing it today, it's like, actually, yes, I'm going to create the business. I'm going to start the nonprofit. I'm going to post a song. I'm going to share a meditation. I'm going to upload the workout video, whatever it is. When you contemplate the idea of doing it today, there might be fear and doubt that comes up. And that's natural. That's normal. Congratulations. You're on the right path. Whenever this does happen, one of my favorite tools is to ask myself, what is true? What is true? What's true right now? And I don't tolerate lazy thinking, because whenever I'm feeling afraid or something difficult is happening, perhaps the first thought that comes up is fear-based, and it's out of alignment. And I know that's not true because it makes me feel small. Okay, so what is true? In other words, what makes me feel like my highest self, like my boldest, most courageous expression? What is true? I constantly ask myself that question. What is true right now? What is true right now? Whenever you are facing a difficult challenge, ask yourself, what is true? You have to be able to discern the conditioning, the trauma, the habits versus what is true. And I've talked many times of how to make that discernment, so I'm not going to get too deep into it right now. Ask yourself what is true. It is time for you to share your soul with the world, to have some fun doing it, and to make it okay to experience difficulty along the way. Couple things before we wrap up this video is, if you enjoyed this and if you want to go deeper, I encourage you all to join the Spiritual Gym monthly membership. You'll have access to hundreds of hours of content, of training videos, of worksheets to help accelerate you on your journey of strengthening your spirit, becoming the leader that you are at your core. Every single week, we do live Q&As and teachings, and it's an awesome community. So if you would like more information on the Spiritual Gym monthly membership, just email me, drewdiorsi@gmail.com. So it's my first and my last name at gmail.com. If you enjoyed this video, please share it with the world. Post it on your page, inside of your group, text it. It's the only way this message is going to get out. It's through word of mouth. And so it is. The video is done. I love you all unconditionally. So I'll talk to you very soon. Peace.